Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's now quite old. It's now quite hard to find and has become very collectible. We are looking at a 2002 release by Art Asylam from their Minimates series of block action figures. And this particular one we're looking at today is of the Gorn, who featured in an episode of Star Trek, which was entitled Arena. And these are the 3-inch version of the block figures. Now, Minimates, or Art Asylam, made the first batch of these Star Trek Minimate figures as 3 inches tall. That was for the first wave, but then as they moved on to the second and third wave, the size came down. So these are the 3-inch, and after that they went to the 2-inch figure, which is they're pretty much standard size block figure now. They all have multiple points of articulation. I think it's 14 points of articulation on each of the block figures, so quite good articulation on them. And for those of you that know the Lego figures, they're basically like those square block figures, very much like the Lego ones, but slightly bigger with a lot more articulation. Anyway, so this is the packet that it comes in, and it says Minimates, Art Asylam, get committed to artasylam.com, and you've got Star Trek, and you've got Gorn there, and at the bottom you've got the warning, choking has a small parts not for children under 3, and suggested ages 4 and above, and it's item number 87450. Okay, that's the front of the card. Now, before we have a look at the Gorn himself, let's turn the card around and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around, and this is what we got on the back. So it shows you all of the figures in this particular series. So it says Star Trek, and you got Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, Khan, the Magatu, and the Gorn. And it says Minimates in the series. You've got Kiss, Star Trek. I'm just going to put some light on so I can see this a little bit easier. Alice Cooper, Dark Angel, Bruce Lee, Rob Zombie, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Iron Maiden, and Ozzy Osbourne. So that's all of the figures in this particular series. Let's take that light off because we've got some flickering going on again. So that was all the other series of figures that were available at the time. You got the barcode there, the CE markings, not suitable for children under 3, the Art Asylam logo, and down the bottom here you got the copyright information and all the other logos associated with the item, so which are all copyrighted for all of the characters from Star Trek, not in Star Trek, from all of the other franchises that they produced the figures for. Okay, that's the back of the card. I don't think there's anything on the bottom of the card. Oh, there is a little bit of writing on the bottom there. Package design, 2002 Art Asylam, and that's about all that's on there. Okay, let's have a look at the Gorn now. So I zoomed right in on the figure, and there you can see the Gorn's face. Well, for a block figure, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot you can say. He obviously doesn't have the snout like the Gorn did have on the TV series. It's just a block head, a round block head with a face painted on it. But if you do turn the I don't know if you can see, you're not going to be able to see here because the figure is so close to the card, you can't actually see behind, but they do have another face on the back. But the Gorn is all in his green lizardy body. He has his like leotard suit on, which he wore in the episode Arena, and he's with his boots. Now, you can see that one of his hands has come off of here, and they just slot in. There's a little slot in the bottom of the arm, and there's a slot inside of his cuff. He's got a cuff on there, and inside the cuff is the link that presses into there. For some reason that one's fallen off, but you can see what his hands are like, his 3-fingered claws, basically. And so a lot of articulation. So you've got the hand, which is one piece, 2, 3. So you've got 3 pieces of articulation on each hand on each arm, 3 on each leg is exactly the same again. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, the waist and the head. So 14 points of articulation on these amazing little figures, which I can't rate them highly enough for their articulation. Block figures are block figures, so you know they're never going to look really like your characters. They make them look as close as they possibly can, but they're never going to look exactly like your characters that you would expect from a normal figure. Now I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and we're just going to confirm the measurements. I'm just going to drop that light again because I keep getting that flickering when I'm measuring. So we're looking at 4 inches. It's 4 inches, even though it says they were 3 inches. These figures are actually 4 inches. No, they're not. They are 3 inches. My God, I'm measuring the wrong way. It's 8 centimeters and 3 inches. I'm not looking at the ruler correctly, so my eyesight is not the best it's been. Maybe I think I need to put that light back on and I can see it. But that's much better. There we go. So 3 inch tall figures. We've got a little bit of flicker in there. We have to deal with that for the time being. And 8 centimeters tall. There we go. Across the width, 4 centimeters. And depth-wise, about 2 centimeters. So pretty much standard size for a block figure. Okay, so how well did these block figures do 22 years ago, 2002? Well, block figures were quite a successful figure range for Art Asylam and Diamond Select. They did do a few accessories to go with the Star Trek one. There was the Enterprise, but that again was for the 2-inch figures rather than the 3-inch figures. So these bigger figures wouldn't fit into the Enterprise. And I think there was somebody else did some blocks figures, and they also had a play set, a bridge play set, and a transporter play set. I can't quite remember who that was though, but anyway, that's another group of toys, again all based on these block figures, which are more or less based on the Lego figures really. But these are better figures with better articulation, more detailing, and obviously these ones are much bigger. These are the 3-inch style rather than the 2-inch style, which is the most common figure out there, common block figure out there. But great multiple points of articulation. So the answer to the question is, yeah, they've done pretty well. All of the Minimates figures, not just the Star Trek range, but all of them done pretty well. It was quite a good line for Art Asylam. I don't quite know how many years the figures went on for, or whether they're still being produced now. I'm not entirely sure on that. But I do know there's something like about 80 different waves of figures that they produced over the course of the years. So yes, they've done very well, but wave 1 is always the lowest quantity because they're testing the market really with the first wave of figures, unless it's something like Star Wars or something like that. These were the 3-inch figures, so the quantities were less than the second wave and third wave, which are the 2-inch standard size figures. So these are the rare ones. They don't come up that often nowadays. We're moving forward now. We're moving forward 22 years to the current date, 2024. They don't come up very often on the platforms, not the 3-inch figures. You do see a lot more of the 2-inch figures on the platforms, but you don't see a great deal of the 3-inch figures. And remember, these ones were only released in 2002. So for that 1 year, the 3-inch figures were released. So I don't quite know the quantities, but I do know it was the lowest of all of the waves that were produced. So no, they don't come up for sale very often, and when they do, you usually find them loose. You very rarely find them on the platforms mint in these sealed packets like we have here. Whereas we were very fortunate when we bought out a closed down shop's stock. There was a couple of cases of these figures in the stock room, and we were quite happy very happy to find them, and trying to make them available as quickly as possible to you guys on the Midas Touch website. So all of the Minimate figures from certainly the Wave 1s, there was a couple of cases of these, so we've got quite a few of these Wave 1 figures available to our customers on the Midas Touch website. And obviously they're all like this one, mint, sealed in the original packet, and pretty much case fresh. And you can get to the Midas Touch website very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website, and there will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive this is something that you won't want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps something from your childhood that you like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Art Asylam Star Trek Gorn block figure with me. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.